Yes, 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 yes. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to talk about feminization and wrestling. Feminization and wrestling. Do you ever want to take a man, put him in a dress, and then just wrestle him to the ground? Well, this is your answer. This is the answer to the question. Everything we talk about tonight, everything we talk about is between consenting adults. We're adults. This is a culture. This is a lifestyle. It's role play. It's acting. It's we're living different characters. It's like wrestling. You know, it's a culture. It's an art. Don't judge. Don't be a judgy asshole. Seriously, there's a loneliness epidemic in this country. Every single problem that you have probably stems from loneliness in some way, either yours or someone else's. Be aware of that. Be conscious. And let's move forward. Let's be cool. Be kind. Let's keep an open mind. This is your kink. Good night. Oh God, I love this. This woman is incredible. This woman, the Domme Kat, Katarina, the Domme Kat Pierce. She's been a friend of the show for a very, very long time. The strength of this woman. Went through a liver transplant. Through this whole time, her friendship, her style, her kinkiness, her sexiness, her strength, and her sense of humor kept me alive. Seriously, kept that spirit going, kept the show alive. I was always so happy to see her, to talk with her every single time we talk, and even offline. This is a woman with vision. This is a woman who's doing something different and having a great time doing it and beating your ass the whole way there. Ladies and gentlemen, please give your flowers, give your utmost respect to the legendary, the Domme Kat. Katarina, the Domme Kat Pierce. How are you?
Hi. Oh my gosh, what an introduction. Don't you go making a dominatrix cry. That was so sweet. And that theme song, that shit is so sexy. What? That is the sexiest intro. I was like bopping over here. That's mwah. Mwah.
Thank you, Oracle Lady J, Goddess Arroya, friend of the show. She has her own podcast, and we're trying to bring like hip hop back into kink.
Yes.
Less vampire music. Even though vampire music's great, don't get me wrong, it's all. But diversity is the beautiful thing, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
yes, and we need a theme song, and it was made by a kinky friend, and it was I wanted a different style and something to capture the inspiration, that moment of inspiration. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so good. Get 15% off all inventory at Locked and Lust. So let's just start. Let's just kick it off. We're going to talk about feminization in wrestling because there's an event that's happening that the Domme Kat is all part of. We're going to talk all about it. But let's just start it off with what's inspiring you these days.
What is inspiring me these days? It's good, my friend actually used the term Miss America answer today, and I don't want this to be a Miss America answer, but it's community. It really is community. I've been a kinkster for a while. I've been a kinkster since before I was a pro. I've been pro doming for about 8 years now, and I only do things that I like. Right. I only do things that are my kinks and my fetishes. So I do, but it's kind of like when you're poly, right? Like you have a partner that you do this with and you have a partner that's like that. So I'm kind of on this like journey of what else? What else do I like? What else do I personally, how do I want to play? And falling back in love with the idea of play with kink and falling back in love with the excitement of discovering new things and doing new things with kink. So I have really been, exploring my personal kink journey a bit more, pushing my own, boundaries and comfort levels, and not violating my own boundaries. Let's get that, but pushing my boundaries a little bit, getting myself out of my comfort zone. And the people that I have met and the people that I have been able to like engage with, to play with, to become friends with, it's them. It's them, and when it comes to surrender, when it comes to the wrestling party, I rent the space. I get the vendors and the provider, but it's the people who come that make that party what it is.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that, right? Because this is the energy. This is the spirit. This is the spirit that like makes this show happen. This is the spirit that like keeps you writing books. This is the spirit that got me through the liver transplant, the kink community, it's the people of it. I joke around. I said, this is not called Your Kinky Nick. It's called Your Kinky Friends. You know what I mean? So let's talk about our friends. Let's talk about feminization and wrestling and the surrender wrestling and feminization party. This looks so cool. Oh, tell us all about it. First of all, wait, I gotta introduce it. All right. So, how did you become passionate about combining domination and wrestling?
When I first started pro doming, there were barriers to entry. There were barriers to like you have to, you know, according to some people, dress a certain way, look a certain way, do certain things. You know, you have to buy these tools and buy these things. And with wrestling, you don't. You know, it's the ultimate BDSM on a buck. It is, I just have like whatever I walk in with, I can fully dominate someone with. And I think it's really neat that we can take all these other aspects of BDSM, right? Because sometimes we forget that wrestling is BDSM. It's so fun, it's so sporty, but it is BDSM. So being able to take these things and also kind of being able to push the boundaries of what we can do with wrestling. I mean, now I'm not saying like, you know, fire play and wrestling, but like, you know, there are things that we can mix in.
And Charmin.
And people who like maybe you do like feminization, but you have never wrestled. Well, here's a way for you to like microdose wrestling while still getting your feminization fix, you know, and just seeing how well it plays with others and how the communities, the different communities of you know fetish and kink lovers can intermix. I just think it's so cool to take something and be like, I wonder if we did this. Like I'm a big fan of. I wonder this, you know.
Yeah, it's a true artist. You're a true like you know sex work artist.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? But was there a specific incident that like that inspired this mix?
I wanted to do different themes. You know, I've done asphyxiation with face sitting and breath play. I've done ropes. I've done foot domination, pro style, black light. I've done all different kinds of themes, and I wanted to do different themes this year. And I actually like I've played with feminization. I do some feminization in sessions, but I've never done like a deep dive. And I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. I met the commandant at an exotica, and the commandant was doing.
Shout out to the commandant.
Yes, we love her.
Love her.
She was doing a workshop on feminization, so I took it, and I was like, wow, there's so much to this. There's so much, even in sissification, dollification, bimbofication, there's still like, you know, this aspect of gender affirming or taking a taboo, taking something that you were called, you know, like traumatically called by maybe a parent, like a sissy. And now it's like, joke's on you, dad, that gives me a boner. So like just being able to take those things and learn so much, being able to learn so much about feminization, I was just like, this is so cool. And I know that forced femme is an aspect, like something that is often played with wrestling. And I wanted to expand and explore how else we can combine this with wrestling. And I just thought like, wow, I would love for the commandant to come teach a workshop. And I was like, if I make one of the parties feminization, would you please teach? And sold, you know, like if she didn't say yes, I don't know. It might've been a different theme. Who knows? I might've gotten it, you know, but definitely it was the commandant and her workshop.
I love the fact that you told that story because it's a perfect example of you gotta ask. I babble ideas. I spout off ideas. Some of them are absolutely batshit crazy. Some of them are very logistically possible. You know, very focused and everything. You know, but if you don't spout them off, it doesn't happen.
You know,
if you don't
shoot your proverbial shot. You know.
And also, yeah, like wrestling, there's a strategy to it, right? So you know, you talk to the commandant, it all works out. I love the kink community. So event overview. Let's talk about what do people expect. So they go there to surrender the wrestling feminization event. What can attendees expect to see?
It's very house party vibes, very house party with wrestling mats. It's, you come in, you kick off your shoes, you put your stuff down. We start with a workshop. Everybody can sit together and see something new that maybe they can move it, like bring into their wrestling later on. And then it's really just kinky, queer. It's very communal. People getting on the mats and wrestling each other, people who don't know each other, people who just met at the party wrestling and negotiating these scenes. And then we have vendors. We have Sex Work Survival Guide. We have fantasy features. We have almonds edibles, and we have flash tattoo by Maxi Tattoo. So we do have some vendors. So there's things to do. There's a 420 smoke room cuddle puddle. So, it's like you can get out of the fray if you want to. But really, like, it is very much house party vibes. It is. There's music pumping. I like to think my music is a little bit, there's some hip hop in there, international, very like gay club, very like back in my like going to industry and therapy and Hell's Kitchen days, like dance music. So it is it is very much just just a house party. Just a house party.
You have the ints.
Not so much, but a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit.
Brooklyn, I gotta admit, Brooklyn, that's where you are, right? You're in Brooklyn. Yep. Brooklyn, I give shout out to Brooklyn Planet. I love Brooklyn, all the way from the Storm Rave days, right? The culture, the diversity, even with the gentrification, what happened to Billyburg and Williamsburg and stuff like that. Brooklyn will always be a force of New York that is undeniable. I love Brooklyn. I really do. Shout out to everybody in Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn.
Yes.
So, all right. This next question was gonna be like, what makes this event stand out? You already kind of answered that, though, right? Is there anything else that you want to? I mean, this is a very unique event, and when you're listing off this stuff, I'm jealous. I'm straight up like, why am I not there?
Why are you not here? Why are you not coming? Why?
What's the date for those who don't know?
It is August 15th.
August 15th. Huh? You may see Nicholas Tannick there.
Listen, if we can make this happen, we will talk after the show. We're going to make this happen. I will.
Right.
I will. Yes, we'll make this happen. What else makes it stand out? I mean, it's different because of the theme. And also this one, we have Mr. Diamond Blue from, I believe she's from Montreal. Sorry, Diamond Blue, if I got that wrong. But she's going to do a feminization station. So she's going to be there doing makeup and makeovers for people. So that is something that we don't have at other events. And also, I mean, it's just like, it is a wrestling party. Hands down, it's a wrestling party, but it is a wrestling and fetish party by rights of having this other thing mashed into it, right? Feminization or foot domination or breath play, whatever it is. So you're going to see all kinds of things there. It's not just going to be, the main event is wrestling, but like last party we had, we opened up a hard point because one of the providers did rope, and there's somebody dangling from a rope above the mats while people are wrestling. Like that shit's so cool. Like just wrestling, and all of a sudden you see somebody just floating above you. Like it's so fun. I just love the way that it mashes things.
Now, for some reason, I see people suspended, and we do at the Manor. We do suspension. You know how you're like, what if this goes with this? Now, can you do suspension wrestling? Like if you suspend two sissies, right, from rope, right, and then have them like close together, right? Can you have them wrestle? Do you think that's something that you could work on?
I'm imagining right now this aerial fight, just like these two.
Yes, exactly.
You know what? Listen, I don't personally do suspension, so I can't speak from a suspension.
Swinging.
But in my head, it's possible. That is
right. Yeah,
100% possible.
That's why I love the way you think, because I'm the same way. In my head, it's possible. That's
yes. And for me, a lot of things are like less of can we do it and like how can we make this work and how can we make it work safely. So I try not to ask like, can we, and more like just how.
Nice. Yeah, I have the same attitude, and that's why I'm so. Every time I talk to you, like it inspires me. It reminds me. It reawakens that attitude that I have. That's I love it. So let me ask you this: how do you incorporate the feminization into the wrestling experience? You dress them up first. Are you kind of like, are you in mode while you're dressing them, or do they come dressed? Or take us through the process.
I mean, it depends on the person and what they're looking for. Some people, they are going to come, for example, to the party dressed. They are going to, already be femmed up. There are people who, like I had a session, I actually posted a snippet of it on Instagram, there's more of a snippet on it on other platforms, but I posted what I could on Instagram, where, he came full boy. He came as himself. And I stripped him during the wrestling match. I stripped him and treated him like my little toy, and then dressed him up. And, we had little moments where I was like, okay, now dance for me. Like, okay, now do this, and then getting back into wrestling. So it depends on the vibe of it. Some of it can be forced femme. Like I don't want to be feminized, but you're so strong and powerful, you're going to make me. And I'm like, yes, you would love to aspire to be like me. There are different ways. Like some people don't want to be forced; they just want to be dressed up. So any of that can be incorporated into wrestling. I've done sessions where it was a little more of the sissification. I've done sessions where it was more gender affirming. Like through wrestling, through this rough play, this struggle play, you are now transformed into who you are truly meant to be. So it can really take on a lot of different modes of creation.
I like how you said that. Through this rough play, you are truly transformed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Into who you, yeah. I love that. Let me ask you this.
Ask it.
With wrestling,
Yes.
there are weight divisions and classes, stuff like that. But with kink, being wrestled by a larger woman, if you're a very small man, that's a fetish in itself, and vice versa, and all this stuff. So where does weight and height and strength and all that come into play when it comes to this event?
When it comes to this event, I mean, all bodies are welcome. All bodies are beautiful, and all bodies.
What about while choosing a wrestling partner?
Choosing a wrestling partner? I mean, wrestling really, like if you get down to like jujitsu type submission wrestling, it is strategy. Weight does matter. I mean, yeah, if you have like a 200-pound person laying on top of you, you're not going very far. But if you know how to not get caught, if you know how to swizzle your arm in and maneuver your way out, it is possible. I love a size mismatch. I love taking a little slip of a man and just tossing him in the air like a pizza dough. I love it. But I've wrestled people of all different sizes. And also too, it depends on the type of wrestling you want to do. Do you want to do competitive where both people are attacking? Do you want to do semi-competitive where one person is attacking, the other is defending? Or do you want to do fantasy where it's like, oh no, mistress, you got me, even though you're like 350 pounds? So it's all depending. I mean, like, I'm not going to be worried about someone who's heavier than me, outweight classing me if it's a tickle fight, and it's for fun.
What about the suspension of disbelief? You were saying that, like, a 350-pound guy, acting like a dainty, victim, so to speak. And you got to play that role. You got to sell that role too. Is there any kind of techniques, or is it just attitude? Is it just like, yeah, and you're in it, or is it?
It's attitude, and once you get into that fantasy aspect of it, it's role play.
Yeah,
it's role play. It's you're playing like we used to when we were kids, but now we're adults and we get to make it sexy. You're just immersing yourself in that experience and that character, which is it's role play. It's role play.
So let me ask you that. Lost the what? All right, what lingerie is the best to wrestle in? yours or theirs? What lingerie do you like? You see a man in lingerie. What's the best lingerie, the best outfit that you want to see them go down?
That I want to see them go down in. Listen, I know pink is a big color for feminization, for sissification, but
Yeah.
I love my men to look like bad bitches. I mean, my favorite color is red and black. I love those. I love just being like their sexy selves. I personally love men in lingerie. I love men in pantyhose, like yum, 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 give it to me. But I just think like being like, no, I am a man and I am so confident in myself and in my own masculinity or however you identify, and still just living that femme fantasy and feeling beautiful. That's what I like to see the most.
That's funny that you said, black and red. That's what I'm wearing underneath this. Yeah. What about dresses, not lingerie? If you put them in like full dresses and wrestle them and take them down too?
Yes. And actually I recently wrestled. There was a party that I went to called Queer Prom, and I wore a prom dress. I wore a dress and I wrestled in it. I think something that is shorter and a little bit more form-fitting is better. When there's a lot of like billows and fabric, it ends up like you get caught in it, so it becomes like an injury risk. But if it's something that's form-fitting, tight, short, that is always the best. And for me, with my feminized men, the sluttier the better.
Yeah. What's the first, three words comes to your head? Wrestling someone in a prom dress.
3 words?
Or just the first word that comes to your head, right?
I mean, first thing I think is gay girls dream. That is I mean, my friends and I, we used to go to each other's proms. We were, just a bunch of queer kids. I mean, I'm pansexual, so like I've gone to the proms with friends, but it's always more fun when you go with friends than a date, honestly. And we used to just go to each other's, and now I'm imagining like us just like roughhousing, and I could totally see it, like in the dress that I wore that was like, my mom's friend's bridesmaid dress back in the 70s, like just rolling around. This is what's going on in my head right now. Yeah, I think gay girls dream is the first thing that comes to my mind.
That's 3 words too. Now there are different types of styles, right? So let me ask you this. The number of sissies versus, there's different styles of feminization. There's like the classic sissy. There's this, more of a sexual sissy, which a lot of them, there's, the sluts. There's the dirty sluts, and there's everything in between, right? So what would you say the various types of sissies and the various types of feminization styles that you see? Is there one more than the other?
Personally, I see more sissy sluts,
Okay.
or sissy, like sweet, precious pets who want to serve and want to please. I think, I mean, there are definitely like there's, like we said before, bimbofication, dollification, and different reasons for people to feminize or to gender bend and play with their gender. But for me, I personally do get, I would say the most I get are slutty sissies. I do also get those who treat sissification as a humiliation, which I understand. And again, it's a reclamation, but as a woman, it is a little difficult for me to be like, oh yeah, that's right. That is a societal taboo, because it is humiliating to be feminine or close to the feminine, because that's a byproduct of the patriarchy. Yeah. So, but it is.
That's why in mine, like the narrative that I play with, it doesn't involve humiliation.
No, what's yours?
At all. It's more of control. It's first of all, it's fabric, right? Cherry, shout out to C-Bombs from Cross Dressers, from Conversations with Cross Dressers podcast. It's fabric. It really is. And it's because, right? Yeah, it's because of society and everything, that brainwashing that they did. So taking, I mean, it's a punk rock thing for a woman to take a man, put him in panties, and then control him. Fuck yeah, that's a punk rock thing. All right, I go on a tangent. You know what? This is wrestling. Let's talk about wrestling dirty. What's the way to wrestle dirty while a man wears lingerie?
I'm a big
corset, garter belts, stockings, panties. It will chastity. Add a throw chastity device in there too.
Chastity goes really well with that.
Maybe even a wig and eyelashes and too. You could do some damage with that. All right, the person's in front of you, right? We want a fair fight. Yeah, you're not going to have a fair fight.
I think, like, I mean, little things, you can throw them off by like snapping, snapping elastics, snapping garter. Little bit of, especially if somebody's not used to how constricting pantyhose can be, a little bit of like the wedgie or like the little like pulling, making things tighter. Snapping pantyhose, that's another one. Really a lot of snapping I'm feeling. Also just the mental distraction, because a lot of what I do is verbal. So the mental distraction of, like, look at you, you dirty little slut. Look at you, look at you, how pretty you are. And just distract them and get them in their head and then into the mat.
Well, verbal snapping. That's a form of snapping. It's a verbal snap, right? Yeah. So, all right. So you have the people. I mean, this looks like an amazing setup that you have. But you have to have some protocols, right? And consent monitors and stuff like that. So how did you set that up?
I actually just recently looked, and I've been doing events, like full like parties like this since 2021. Surrender's been happening, I'd say, since 2022. And since then, I have been just listening to feedback. One, it is a party that I would want to go to. So I put things in place that I would want. And then two, I listen to people. Somebody was like, well, I don't know if I want somebody to approach me. Okay, cool. Well, now we have wristbands. You get a red wristband if you don't want to be approached for play, if you only want to play with the person you came with. Green if you're open to being approached and being talked to about playing with another guest. Consent is everywhere. Consent is everywhere. There are signs up. I talk about it beforehand on FetLife, on surrender parties. There's a welcome. I always welcome people after the workshop, and we review consent. There are consent monitors. I mean, they can talk to me. They can talk to Tiana Glitosaurus Rex, who is the person who vends for our sex work survival guide and fantasy features. But we also have consent monitors with LED wrist armbands. So if you see that armband flashing and you can't find me, say something to them. And also, I just have these volunteers that have been volunteering like with these parties the last few years are top level humans, like top tier. And I will say that, like, we have referees, for example. Like, one of the first things I do, again, is I review consent, and I also review wrestling safety and a way to start the action a little bit more safely. But like, I have referees on the mats who are just basically stand there to make sure nobody bangs into each other, nobody rolls into each other. And the referees also keep an eye out, like they will come to me and be like, hey, I saw this was sideways, I took care of it, boom. Like they are so on top of it because they also love this party, which is what I love. And it's just like it's like this precious, we all treat it as precious. And for me, the way I feel is like, when I'm inviting you into this space, into this party, I'm inviting you into my home. Like, it really does feel like a house party. I am inviting you into my home, and I want you to treat the other guests the way you would treat someone in my home.
That's what's interesting about like very good parties, good events like yours. Like you said, the people that make it up. So it's like, just like in the Mischief Manor, I go in there, right? I make sure my shoes are clean, right? I take off my shoe, you know, I make sure I don't leave anything. Like, I throw away everything, you know, I'm clean up, make sure I don't be mad. My mama raised me right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That kind of thing. Right?
Yes, yes. That's why when people
All
are
right.
like, "Why are you nice? You're a dominatrix," and I'm like, "I can still have manners."
Yes.
We can
Yes.
still have manners, even if we're like a grubby little gremlin. We could still have manners.
I can't see you as a grubby little girl. But, I listen to it's a wrestling style. Let's talk about wrestling
No,
style.
no, not so much.
There's different wrestling style. You offer a variety of wrestling styles, right? You
Yeah,
know, and I've seen you sometimes. You were talking about it before. You could be very, very mean and brutal. You know, you could be playful as well. Do you specifically have a favorite style though?
I love a playfully trash talking submission wrestling match. So submission wrestling is like people who may have wrestled in high school or college, that you probably did a lot of pins where you try to pin the person's back to the ground. Submission wrestling is more like, okay, at the highest levels of competition, I'm not saying we do this at Surrender or anything, but at the highest levels of competition, your competitor's job is to either break your limb or choke you out. Your job is to tap before it happens, right? So submission wrestling is very much, you know, joint locks and blood chokes. What I really love are playful matches that involve submission wrestling. And also, I'm a really big fan of breath play and choking. So any match with me is probably gonna have a lot of that. Yeah, that's that. But there are so many different styles. I mean, you could tickle, you could strip, you can primal. Do love some primal. You can do oil wrestling, cat balling, where you just intertwine and you roll. We love rolling. There's so many different ways to play with wrestling. Pro style is so big. It's that carnival, like displaying your victim and like it's the ultimate role play. It's so fun. I do like pro style, but yeah, no, submission. I'd say submission. It's so hard to choose, but submission wrestling with like a playful banter, to me, that's the best.
It's so beautiful just watching you and hearing you, just the fire, the energy in your voice, the the enthusiasm. I love that was just captured. All right. So with that energy, that that it reminds me of someone new to the scene. And that's why my character of Nicholas Tannick is someone who has the frenzy, but I genuinely, seriously, I always do. I love them. Newcomers, they act a little strange sometimes. They're shy, but generally, and especially if they make it through the vetting process and everything like that, they're good people, but they're still newcomers. So how do you cater to newcomers with these experienced wrestlers?
So like I said, all types of wrestling are welcome on the mats at Surrender. So we can have everything from fantasy to competitive to, pro style, whatever, except for oil. That's a little messy but stay tuned for the future. But there are people who, they already know the deal. They walk in, and they're such good humans that they will see someone new and be like, "Hey, what's up? Who are you? Like, want to wrestle." But in terms of catering to newcomers, so on FetLife Surrender parties, I do have a thing that says, you can read, that says what to do your first time at going to a play party for the first time. What are some things that you should keep in mind, or some things that you could prepare for, or how do you approach play at a party? I also, in the consent speech, sort of outline, because sometimes scripting, especially we are a community of neurodivergents, and some of us are just neurodivergent babies just bumping into each other, and trying to do our best. So giving somebody like a script, like, hey, these are some things that you can ask in order to negotiate a scene. Reviewing wrestling safety every time, not just verbally, but also there are signs held or signs posted. Showing people an easy snap down so they can start because starting is the hardest thing. After that, it's play fighting. It's like what you used to do in your basement with your cousins. So, I show them like a nice, easy way for that. And the green and red wristbands gives them the opportunity to opt in or out to something. Also, when they walk in, when you do choose your green or red wristband, the volunteers at the door do sort of review like consent and wrestling safety with them, so that they do, have like this, it's reinforced. You saw it before in the promo, you see it at the door, you see it on the wall, you hear about it at, 7 o'clock when the party starts. So these kinds of things are, and plus I'm buzzing around. Now I do offer mini sessions, but I will say my time is so very limited. Like last party, I had to turn down 3 sessions. I couldn't do them. But I love buzzing around the party and just checking in on people, and being like, hey, I don't know your face. Who are you? What's up? I'm Katarina. And, giving people, and that also gives the people the opportunity to ask me questions. If they have any concerns or any reservations about jumping into the mix. And we do have people that just come and watch. So if you're a voyeur and you just want to come watch and you're not sure, start with a red wristband. Start with don't approach me. And if you want to then change it, go to the door and get a green one, and then, jump on the mats.
It all takes the first step. The first step, going, right? That's the willingness to go, the decision to go, just like the decision to put on panties for the first time.
Yes.
Right? See where it led you to this moment right now.
Yes. So, I cannot wait to see all the panties on Friday. Can't wait.
Okay, so one of the things about wrestling that I always, followed was the signature moves. Like Jimmy Superfly Snooker would get on the corner, the belts, and jump off. I think Jerry Lawler had the pile driver. I'm not as educated as wrestling as you are, but I know that they have moves. Do you have a favorite move or technique that you use during sessions?
Besides trash talk to throw them off balance.
That's a signature.
I love, I don't want to give too many of my secrets away. But I do love, my favorite is the rear naked choke. Because everything I do is so big and just up here, and then the rear naked choke, you just slide your arm around. You could just give them a little talking to right before you squeeze it. And it's barely any movement. It's barely any exertion on my part. And the fact that they're like, whoa, let me go. It's hilarious to me. So I just think that's really fun. There is something that I just saw, and I don't know her name. She's a pro wrestler now. She just did this move, and I was like, oh, this is going to be my new finishing move. She took her legs and put them around the person's neck and banged their face into her butt. So I'm going to be practicing that. If you're lucky enough, I'll practice it on you. But I am going to be practicing that move.
All right, we got some comments from the crew, or from the people in the chat. Narcissistic Miss So has a bunch of comments, which is awesome. Thank you so much for coming. Stan Vladimir has the Stan question: if you could have any superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it in your kinky life?
I never remember. Is it teleportation? The one that doesn't fuck you up when you're coming out of because some of them, if you blink from one part to the other part, then the Earth's centrifugal force ends up throwing you into a wall or something. Whichever one is not that. Whichever one allows me to just be bloop, I'm here, and bloop, now I'm there. It would help me just in general getting to kinky things. But also it would be really funny to do to somebody on the wrestling mats.
They come back right behind him. Hey,
yes, some CBT, they think you're coming at them from the front and you end up hitting them from the back.
Oh my god, we could do a wrestling and CBT move.
Ooh,
CBT show.
Yes.
PD is talking about wrestling. Do you like Rhea Ripley from WWE? She seems clearly to be a really dominating woman.
Oh, I'm not familiar with who that is, but now I'm wondering, that might be the person who did the move I just talked about. I'd have to see. I'm better with faces than I am with names. It's just my ADHD. But yeah, I will have to check her out and see if that is the person. If she has the purple hair? She had blonde in the video, but she also had purple in the last thing that I saw her in. If it's her, then that's who I'm thinking of.
Okay, so we have. I'm going to go on a complete tangent, which I think you're going to enjoy.
Here for it.
Because hey, right, this is what we do, right?
Yes.
People like us, we go like, hey, let's try this.
Yeah.
Trash talking is one thing that is a major part that you do. Does it come in everyday life? I mean, because like if you see a wrestler and you could break them down, you look at them, you break down their image, their height, their weight, the way they look, their energy. Why are you existing? You know what I mean? That kind of attitude. You could be like that at the bank. You could be like that with your mom and dad. You could be like that with your brother, your sister, your cousins, your aunts, your own kids, your own lovers. So let me ask you this. Someone trash talks this show, right? What are some good things that you could tell me to say to them to inspire them? Because no one trash talks like a wrestler.
For me, trash talk and humiliation. I was actually just, again, today talking to a friend about it. It's something that I do in sessions. So I try to be a little bit more, offer more grace in real life. Because straight up, you got to pay me, right? I get paid money to make people feel terrible about themselves. So I'm not going to do it for free. But what I would tell you to do, one of my favorite things that to do in humiliation, and it was actually, I was doing a session at the Crown, and some of the Taylor group doms were in the other room, and they heard me do this, and they were like, I use their name, and you just keep saying their name until it sounds like an insult. And no matter what they say to you, they're the ridiculous ones. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Is that all you had to say? Are you going to come back to me when you can think of something better? Because that was weak. And then let's say I was trash talking you, Nick. And then I just tell you about yourself, Nick. And then, maybe you're going to take off that jacket and show me that corset that you have, Nick. And just keep saying their name it's until it sounds like an insult to them.
It reminded me of Wesley Snipes in New Jack City when he's in court at the end. He's like, Miss Hawkins. Yeah. I didn't know Miss Hawkins.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wrestling, would you rather? Right? You have to be one or the other.
Okay.
All right. One or the other. We're very strict here.
Okay. Very serious, very serious.
Face sitting or leg scissor?
Ooh, that is a tough choice. But I'm going to say face sitting because it requires minimal exertion on my part, and it scares the bejesus out of the people I'm sitting on.
All right.
Love a fear boner.
Trash talk with a quick end or a long silent match?
This one's harder. Because when I wrestle, I do love wrestling. But I can't stop the trash talk. So trash talk with a quick end. Victory pose on your ass and make you look at me so you can see what a fucking winner looks like. Because you look in the mirror every day and you still don't know what a winner looks like.
I love you. It's so great. So, but if you think about it, if it's trash talk and it ends quick, right? It gives more potency to your trash talk. It makes every trash talk, every sentence means something more. So that means you have to study up and up your game, right?
That is true. That is true. Although I will say that with trash talk, I have never studied a day in my life. It is my how they say when you are a dom, you just take your own personality and dial it up to 20. So my whole life I haven't had a filter. And I have tried very hard to, filter and soften and say things that are more kind than clever. But on the mats, when I'm the Domme Kat, I don't have to be kind. I can fully be clever. So whatever comes into my brain just comes right out of my mouth. So it is a way of just letting my brain be free, and whatever association it makes, that's what happens.
If I'm gonna write a movie, right? And it's if I'm the main character or the main character's in trouble, and it's a great, like, there's always a good person who steals the whole scene with really good trash talking. That's it.
Yes, those are always my favorite characters. I'd never, like, if I had to play something in a movie, it would never be like the main character. It would always be their like quippy best friend. Like, that is, to me, I love that role.
There was one, there is a movie where trash talking does not go in her favor. There's a movie called The Way of the Gun, and Sarah Silverman gets her ass beat by Benicio del Toro.
Oh shit.
And she's hardcore. She's like, "Oh, you like the fuck?" Like, oh yeah, just check out. You could probably look it up online. It's the opening scene of The Way of the Gun. All right. Would you rather wrestle a French maid or wrestle a sissy slut?
Well, the prizes would be different at the end, I guess. I am gonna say I have wrestled French maids. I do love wrestling sissy sluts. I do. I'm gonna say sissy slut. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sissy slut. Okay. I want to talk about we did the wrestling rather, but you're the co-founder of the SW Survival Guide. Please, we've talked about it before. I know, but we're going to talk about it now. So tell us what is next for the Survival Guide. What's going on? Just tell us a little bit about it.
So Sex Work Survival Guide, I co-founded it with my friend Tiana Glitosaurus Rex. There are barriers to entry in sex work, and this is supposed to be a survival industry. But when life-saving information and information on how to effectively, survive are behind paywalls, it makes things so much more dangerous. And if I'm sitting on a mountain of privilege, the majority of sex workers don't look like me. They're not sitting in an apartment in Brooklyn. So, if my barriers are there, like I can only imagine their barriers. So we want to provide free education. And it's everything from racist SEO and porn to, we just had a speaker series. We had a couple really good ones. We had one with this financial management couple who does like budgeting and financial planning, but through a decolonized lens. And it's really interesting to be like, oh, okay, it's not just that I'm not good at budgeting, it's that I'm a money monk. So I'm personally someone that when I have money, I give it away. So, like learning those kinds of things and like, oh, this is why we feel this way when we think about money, or this is why poverty is demonized in this country. So that was a really cool one. And we also had my friend, Melissa Vitale, who is a publicist for sex, drugs, and whatever else, publicity, did a PR yourself on how to do marketing. That was another really good one. Masturbation. We had a discussion about self-love from a physician associate at an LGBT healthcare center. So we do have a lot of different things. We do have some things coming up like co-working. We're going to have some co-working time for people to just come online and join us. And body doubling really helps me. And I know it helps a lot of people. Good thing I crossed those titties out, huh? We're going to be doing some collaborations on with other sex workers on crypto and, InfoSec and stuff like that. So we do have some things coming up. We don't have another big conference in the mix. It's difficult to do those every year, but the speaker series and our co-working hours, we're really trying to get into community and bring things into in person. We're working on getting an in-person and online speaker series with street medics to talk about what goes wrong. What do you do when shit goes wrong? What do you do in a session where the person starts bleeding really badly, or you're doing breath play and it goes wrong, or all these other things. How can we keep ourselves safer when shit goes sideways? Because it's kink. It goes tits up sometimes.
Yes, it sure does. Doing all this stuff, I want to document like people like you because you're helping people. You're helping the kink community. You're part of the kink community. And I know a lot of this is, self-promoting. You're trying to promote an event, of course, and I want to help you promote the event, but let's really go deep inside. Let's, give ourselves some flowers.
Here
What
for
have
it.
been some rewarding moments that you have after all of this? Because you've helped so many people. Is there a thing that like you really just kind of pulls at your heartstrings that
Oh
you
man,
remember?
you're gonna make me get all tender. Um, I will say, I've been doing a lot of work. Right now I'm an educatrix at the Taylor Group, and I do work at the Crown, and I teach workshops for them. And I have a mentee now, but being able to just be around younger doms and doms that have different levels of experience has been really rewarding, because I have met so many people who, even if they're new to pro doming, they might not be new to kink. So they do have like experience in something that maybe I could learn. And just like, honestly, it's really, this is a weird one, but somebody wanted to disclose something to me. And it was someone that I, met at an event, and I was like, oh, here's some resources, like come to my events, come meet community. And when she went to talk to me, she's like, because I low key think of you as my mom. And I was like, oh my God, that is so sweet. And also, why is basic human kindness just like feel so maternal to you, baby? Come here, what happens? Like, it's just so very sweet to be able to mama bear some of these people. And have that be like, oh, this is something that I'm naturally giving off, is something that you need, which is really sweet and rewarding. And also hearing people talk about how surrender is like a really great first party. If you haven't gone to a kink party yet, like surrender is a really great way to get your training wheels on play parties. So hearing that kind of stuff, like the spaces that I create, being people are talking about them when I'm not in the room, like that is super rewarding to me.
Okay, before we get into the really kinky, dirty stuff, as always,
Yeah.
what's next for you and the Surrender series?
What's next for me in surrender? Ooh, so I'm thinking about doing, so surrender is a play party. There's no sex involved. But I'm thinking about doing sort of like a surrender after dark, and making it like a, maybe like one room is the party room, and maybe that's like some sexy oil wrestling or something. And then the other room is like the boom boom room. That's where you get to like, have the sexy times. So playing a little bit more with that, still keeping the play party, still keeping surrender what it is, but just branching off into something a little bit different, a little bit more sensual and sexy for people that want to go there.
If you were going to sum it up, what do you want people to take away from Surrender?
I just want them to have fun, and I want them to walk away with at least one new community member that they've connected with. Just somebody that they can, even if they're not going to be friends, somebody that they can just high five in the proverbial high school hallway.
Yeah. Or just, you know what? Just the nod. You see them, you're just like, yeah.
Yes.
What's up?
Yes.
What's up? That's it. That's it. You don't need to say anything else, just
That's
walk by
it.
and that will give you confidence just for a little while.
Yes.
All right.
Seeing people connect. That's what I want.
New games, right? I usually like, trash talk first. You like trash talking. So do you have any names for your subs when you wrestle? Any very creative names?
It depends on the person.
Toilet boy.
I mean, there has been an old man baby.
Old man baby. Okay.
There has been an old man baby, some bitch tits. I will say though, if I call you sweetie, you did something ridiculous. That is like when you hear me go like,
oh, I can imagine.
Oh, sweetie, like that's,
oh, it's so condescending, right?
Yes.
So...
I don't use sweetie in my personal life. That one is purely humiliation.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's just like, here's a little
Yeah.
pat on the head, buddy. Go ahead. You run along.
Names, new names, games. Do you have any funny names for toys? Any, dildos, toys? Um,
Mm.
Luna has a huge dildo called the Intruder that's about the size of my arm.
I I love that. My friend does have one called Big Daddy. Um, I'm trying to think because I know that somebody has recently said to me, like, please don't call it that. And I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't know. I'll have to think on this one.
All right. What about? Usually, I do names for moves. Like, for example, Nico Noir makes manginas. You know what a mangina is, Domme Kat?
I know, but I know what it means in general, but what does it mean for Nico Noir? How do you
Okay.
make a
Well, I'll tell you. She tells it better, but I'll tell you. It's when you basically take the cock and balls and you crush them and fold them in, right? And you fold them in and you take a staple gun and you bolt the staples into it and you staple them inside the man, basically
Yes.
making a slit down the middle with like Frankenstein like sutures almost. That's a mangina. That's my imagination. I've seen it. That's what way I describe it.
I
You know.
love it. Going back to the embryonic stage where we all start looking the same.
So, do you have in wrestling? Do you have moves or just or any of your things that you do? Do you have any names for certain moves that you do?
There is one choke in particular so I teach wrestling, Femdom Wrestling 101 and Fetish Wrestling 201 at the Crown every third Monday of the month. And in that class, there are different chokes that I do. And the rear naked choke, I teach 3 different variations of it. The regular one, the gable grip, which is named after the guy who did it or whatever. And then this one is the one-armed one. There's one where you just slide your hand around them. And then here's their neck. And you put your hand over here and you just go pop with your bicep and choke them. And it's such a dick move because it's so like, I don't need 2 hands. I could do whatever I want with this hand. I can just gesture like, do whatever. And just like, bang. So we've renamed that one the Domme Kat because if Gable and Darcy stuff after them, then that one's mine. I'm taking it.
Nice. I love that. Okay, rapid fire kink advice. Okay. We're going to start off slow. I know, like, I don't want to insult your intelligence, but we got to give them an easy one at first. Okay. They get harder as we go on.
Okay.
You strain someone up and their arm goes numb. What do you do?
Untie them. Check in. There are different ways to like feel, if they have pins and needles and stuff, and also feel if they can, feel you doing this to their hands. And there's also a strength test where you can have them feel like before you restrain them, see how strong their grip is. And then after you restrain them, if their grip has gotten weaker, then that is definitely an issue. But as soon as it starts to go numb, let's change your position. Let's check in. I like people to leave with all the body parts they came in with. I don't need
it's a good plan.
Like, I don't need that trophy.
No. I think some out there do though, would like that.
Yeah, no, not my risk profile.
A sub shows up way too high. What do you do?
Reschedule the session, or reschedule the playtime. I would probably sit with them and check in with them. Sometimes people are like, oh, maybe I don't want to wrestle in kink. Maybe I just want to cuddle. Maybe that's what they're looking for that time. But anything that involves like consent, that person now cannot consent. So that is something that, if you're way too high, I can't play with you because it's just dangerous for both of us.
A sub met someone online and they want to give them all their money. All of their money. They just want to give all their money. And they say, you see their money just being sucked away. What do you do? What do you tell them?
I tell them, you know me, give me all your money. if you know the person, if you have vetted the person, and you want to indulge in that type of kink, go for it. But remember, you still need to be whole when you come back from that play. You can't be destitute because you wanted to give this person all your money. Be realistic before you play also. Because even if you're talking to someone online and you're like, I want to give them all my money, that's a scene in a way, right? So before you start play, check in with your own boundaries. How much can I realistically give this person before I don't have food to eat tomorrow? So you definitely want to, 1, vet them, and 2, check in on your own financial boundaries at the very least. And protect your personal information. Don't be giving your personal information and your banking stuff to people you don't know. But you can go send me money. I'll happily take your money.
What about a Dom? Not well, but is talking about robbing a fellow kinkster. What do you do?
Robbing is an interesting term too, because I have heard particularly full service sex workers say like, oh my God, I robbed them. And all that means is like you took, you had a big session. You had maybe they tipped you. Maybe they were like, let's extend, that kind of thing. But if we're talking about robbing somebody, like stealing their money, then that's not cool. Like I would definitely tell them like, what do you need something? Are you in need? There are other ways to get this. You steal from corporations, not from people.
Yes.
It's certainly not your fellow community members, because I've said this before, especially the way things are going. If we don't have each other, we have nothing. We are going to be living together on a commune, growing the same onions and potatoes. Like we need to be able to support each other. We need to be able to lean on each other. And even though we do have our differences, we are still a community, and we still need to look out for each other. And if you do something sideways to someone like that, what you're going to do is just isolate yourself, because people will find out.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'd like to say kink helps kink. And one way that kink can help kink is keeping money in our community. So that means supporting events, supporting toy makers, supporting writers, content creators, stuff like that.
Yeah, mutual aid, sex work mutual aid is literally like sex workers just passing around the same $20. Today it's mine, tomorrow it's yours, tomorrow it's hers. Like that is sex worker mutual aid.
That's an astute way of looking at it. All right, the last would you rather, or not the last, the last rapid fire kink advice.
Okay.
Speaking of steal money from the corporations, not the people. A sub is talking about planning on murdering a CEO of a large healthcare company in New York City at 4 a.m. What do you do?
I would say I would prefer not to know of your plans.
Okay. Laughter. What's the funniest or most unexpected moment you've had while working as a pro dom that still makes you laugh to this day?
Oh shit! I have had so many funny moments. Oh my gosh! Sometimes when sexting goes wrong, sometimes autocorrect will really do you dirty.
Oh God! Yeah. I sent an elaborate plan to Nico Noir about like an elaborate plan of like your kinky friend stuff, like for and I sent it to my mom by accident.
No! Oh my gosh. Similar story.
Chastity devices and sissies and women making manginas. It was not
similar story. So Tiana and I came back from vending at I think a Juneteenth event. And Sex Work Survival Guide has merch, and we have Rainbow Pride butt plugs and rosaries and, necklaces and different things. So I was texting her to tell her like, oh, one of the big butt plugs must have like been laying on a rosary and it broke the cross off. So we'll have to like have somebody, either fix it, or that'll be one that we keep for us. And I realized that instead of sending the butt plug broke the rosary text to Tiana, I sent it to my 80-year-old super Catholic aunt in Pennsylvania. Who doesn't know I'm a sex worker? Like, oops, wrong person.
Yeah. Yeah, but we could do, oh my God, we could do a whole show just about that. Just about wrong texts.
Oh
That
my
could be
God.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of, well, problems are solvable, right? Dungeon problems. Now, I know you are good at solving problems. It's part of wrestling. Basically, you're in a problem. You're in a ring, and you got to solve that problem.
That is true.
It's like you got to solve it in the moment. You could even plan wrestling, all that theatrical stuff. That's like in the moment, and never know what could happen, and it's real. So, when was the last time you solved a dungeon problem? What was it, and how'd you solve it?
I mean, I think it depends on like the definition of a dungeon problem. I don't know. What do we mean by dungeon problem? Because I mean, there are interpersonal things. There are like making things work when you don't have the materials.
Let's just say you're in a dungeon, whether it's your personal dungeon or like you're in, you know, in New York City in a big dungeon with a party, just a dungeon. Like you're in a scene or you're in something. It doesn't have to be a scene could be going on or just a dungeon. It's a dungeon and there's a problem. That's it.
Okay.
So it opens it up to a lot of things.
It does open it up to a lot of things. Oh shit. That is so open-ended. My brain is like split.
Well, you can do here wrestling. Do a wrestling, kink wrestling dungeon problem.
Oh man, I have wrestled in some really interesting places. Not having space to wrestle, like, do we have a couch? Do we have like wrestling on tiny little beds? Making a mat out of anything. That is definitely happened. Sometimes it's so intuitive that you just like as a kinkster, you're just used to rolling with those punches, you know, because you can plan a scene. One of the first things I remember, I think it was in like the big book. What is it? The big book or new book of topping. And they talk about having a plan, but expecting it to never go according to plan. And it never does. So you always, it's all improv. It's all improv.
Yes, it's all, and that's, what, that attitude actually helped me survive, because you focus so much on, like even in kink, a scene, it has to be perfect. And I know a lot of my friends who are professional dominatrixes, they have stubs and clients who come in with full on scripts. And if the script like goes off in one little shot, it's all over, So, okay. AI and kink, how have you been involving with AI?
AI, I'm going to get some hate for this, but I have used the chat GPT. I was fighting it for a really long time. And some people that I know use it, and it kind of, I've used it for when I'm writing something and I'm like, I'm not entirely sure how I want to word this, and I'll get an idea. I never go and like, hey, ChatGPT, write me this thing. Boom. But I use it here and there just to kind of like, it's like an editor. It's like, before I was a sex worker, I was a journalist and I was a copy editor. And, every writer needs a copy editor. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter if you're Bukowski or well, Shakespeare probably didn't write his own shit anyway, but like, it doesn't matter who you are, you need a copy editor. So I have used it like that, but for the most part, I still, I think part of what makes the Domme Kat who she is, who I am, is like that authenticity, and that like, this is what comes out of my brain. This is what I want you to see. So there is one though that's called, the Sex Work CEO created it, and it's called Chat GPTs, and it's AI for for sex workers. And I will say that one I have used when I was like writing a clip description, and I'm just like, like, what do I say about it? How do I can't get it out of my brain. It's like 3 a.m. and you just edited for like 10 hours and now you got to write the clip description. I have plugged it into Chat GPT. Like, this is what happens in the clip. this is the vibe. What do you have to say? And ChatGPT has given me some prime clip ideas.
They should become a sponsor of YKF. Chat, yeah.
Sex Work
We can go
CEO
far with that.
content, yeah.
We can go far with that. Okay, we got a little more would you rather. This is the classic would you rather.
Okay.
Okay. You have to choose one or the other. Can't choose both.
Okay.
If you're gonna have a session, it's all psychological or all physical.
Why are you doing this to me, Nicholas? It's
You're a wrestler, you can take it.
It's really hard to even do. Like sometimes the physical does go psychological, but I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna say physical. I'm gonna say physical. Yeah, I'm gonna say physical.
Even with that, with no trash talk at all.
That is very difficult for me to do. But I would say fuck.
All right. Yeah. Would you rather? Would you rather experiment with a new kink or do the standards?
If it's a client, I'm not doing something unless I know what it is that I'm doing. But I have been in a very exploratory mode this summer, and learning things that aren't my standards. Like I do bondage wrestling, which is super fun and super duper rack. So it is different ropes, different modes of tying, but I've started going to like shibari classes and learning how to do like actual meditative, different ties and stuff. So in my personal life in general, I would say experiment with a new kink. I'm a big fan of, if you haven't done it, try it at least twice. Once to like get over the shock of it, and the second time to figure out if you're really into it. So I do love experimentation.
I do want to talk about bondage wrestling, but let's finish. Would you rather? Would you rather have a detailed plan session or a spontaneous session?
I'm going to say spontaneous, provided that we have our pre-scene negotiations. What I love, and I know I've said this before, what I love about kink and BDSM, and especially too for like a neurodivergent brain, like, social norms aren't always like, we don't get it, right? Like we're in an office job and it's like people tell you play the game, you got to play the game. What the fuck is the game? Like what is the game? And why is it different from day to day? And why is it different from office to office? Like for BDSM, we take these like, okay, you don't even have to tell me what you want to do. Just tell me what you don't want to do.
Yes.
Make the box, and then we pad the walls. This is how we're going to, okay, so you don't want marks. This is how we're going to not give you marks. You don't want this, okay, pad the wall. And then you get to go bonkers inside that box. To me, that's like one of the most beautiful things about BDSM and kink, is because you get to just play. So I'm a big fan of just tell me what you don't want. And then the rest of it is play.
Okay. Final would you rather. Sensory deprivation, blindfolds, earplugs, total restraint, or sensory overload, feathers, ice, hot wax music in a session.
Oh, you're doing this to me. This is so hard. I'm going to say sensory overload. Now, sensory deprivation can make anything pretty much sensory overload, but I also teach wax play at the Taylor Group every fourth Monday of the month. So I do love wax, and I love that you included ice. I do love dripping like a taper candle on someone, and also dripping ice on them, like dripping the water from ice, because their brain doesn't know which one's hitting them, and they just go like nuts. So it's really fun to see. It's really fun to see somebody get overloaded like that. So I'm going to choose sensory overload.
All right. It's funny, when I did the question, a detailed plan session or a spontaneous session, for some reason, my mind's weird. I just thought of like, oh, I'm at Whole Foods and you meet somebody and they're like, oh, you can pay me, I'll sit on your face. Let's go. And then that's a spontaneous session.
Oh, like that spontaneous session? Oh yeah, no. Then detailed and planned. Yeah, no.
No. That's not what I thought when I originally wrote that question. But that just popped in my head. All right. One thing that I really love about you and your style is that, you're emotionally intelligent, and you seem grounded and centered. You really do, and that gives you permission. That gives you like gives you fuel to be fun, right? That gives you fuel to be whimsical. It's great, and I think a lot of this stems from how you start your day and certain things that you do. Um, Wrestling is a very physical thing. There's certain rituals that you have to do to make sure you're strong, make sure you can do it. So I'm always trying to improve myself. Right? I have my own ritual in the morning. Do you have any self-care rituals? Any self-care rituals that keep you grounded?
It's funny because I'm a workaholic, and I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. I am a workaholic, and one thing that my therapist was telling me to do is think about my personal life in kink terms, because kink terms make sense to me. So I treat going to the gym as a hard limit. Like skipping the gym is a hard limit. I have to go.
Yes.
Like, I must go to the
Same
gym.
way.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
to me, like, I am not someone who can sit still easily. I'm not someone that can quiet my mind easily. So that like meditation, that does not work for me. I want to listen to like Swiss Beats and Nipsey Hussle and Rick Ross while I'm like lifting heavy weight at the gym. Like that's to me, that's my meditation and my self-care. And every so often,
Price is good at lifting weights.
Yeah, like that's part of my self-care. And I've also been trying to, because I have a tendency to, especially like with our phones, like they are just, it's your alarm clock, it's your everything. So you see the notifications. I've been telling myself, and I have some friends that do try to keep me accountable when they remember. I do not text or answer messages until after I've had at least one coffee. That is one of my like morning grounding things. Like I need to just start the day, whether that's just sitting there staring at a wall drinking coffee, whether that's stretching out, whether that's putting on some music because I woke up with a song in my head, but not jumping on my phone has been a really
huge difference.
Giant.
Like that water, the first thing I do is I drink water. First thing I do is water. And what the first thing I do is not check my phone. It's tempting, but I don't. Yeah, and I do my morning rituals, and then until I'm like I feel like I'm ready, I give myself it's at least good take it 10, 15 minutes before I even do it until I got to know I'm ready, and therefore I can really attack. You're not going to go into a wrestling ring half-assed, are you?
Nope.
Right? You're not going to go into
that. Got to get in that mindset. You got to stretch the body. You got to prepare the mind.
All right. So like we have an event to go to. Let's say it's the Kink Olympics. If there was a Kink Olympics, if you're going to create one Kink Olympics, Kink theme Olympic event, what would it be?
I mean,
sissy made horse race. I don't know. Would it be like, or it could be like javelin, like dildo javelin throwing. It could be. I don't know. You could do. Let your imagination run wild.
On the lines of the aerial sissy wrestling match that you were talking about, a friend of mine, we're going to be doing a party in December called Pummel, and we're going to be taking different aspects of impact play for every party. And the first one's going to be Fists of Fury. And what we wanted to do was we're looking to suspend someone and make them a human punching bag. So that would be like, so it would be like boxing with a human punching bag. There would have to be some sort of like, maybe there'd be like a noise meter, and the level of their ouches and grunts would be like the points.
Now, would they be padded? So if they're hanging on that, like their body be padded or not padded at all?
I mean, doesn't a body have padding? We have some padding. Like I have padding here,
Yeah.
You could wrap them up. Maybe some pallet wrap would be nice too. Keep them.
Would they be dressed in lingerie or naked?
Yes.
Which one?
A little sissy suspension.
Sissy suspension.
Yeah, I do like a little sissy suspension.
Okay. Of course someone asked this. PD asked, do you have any toilet slaves, goddess?
Well, my honorific is Domina, not goddess. Next time you make the mistake, apologies, go to my Cash App. I do not currently have any toilet slaves, and I use the word submissive rather than slave. I think submission is a lot hotter when it's consensual, and you have that autonomy, but you choose to submit. But to answer your question, I do love golden showers. I love peeing on people. And I love waterboarding people with it, putting a t-shirt on their face and then peeing, because it does bring in that psychological edge play.
So you mentioned bondage wrestling.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Colin lit up and said it. What is bondage wrestling? Just give us even this narcissistic so bondage wrestling. So please tell us about bondage. Take myself out. Tell us about bondage.
Bondage wrestling is wrestling with ropes. It was actually one of the first surrender themes. So we have these ropes, and they are shorter and much thicker than your regular like shibari ropes. And you take them, you start with one in your hand, and the other ones are kind of, all around you. And the goal is, instead of like choking the person or, arm barring them or pinning them or whatever, you want to tie them up. So it's really fun because like sometimes like you can't get really nice ties. You can't, not when you're moving around. But you can like zoink an arm and pull it back. There are certain ways to do it. I tend to like to do distraction. Like I'll do some like bullshit tie on your legs while I'm like, now I'm getting your arms. But yeah, bondage wrestling is a lot of fun. The goal is to get them tied up. So you can use a lot of different submissions and holds to get them there. You can be on the bottom and the person can be above you, like, ha, 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 look at you, I'm winning. And then it's like, ha, 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 you're tied up, son. Like there's, it doesn't matter who's on top. It matters who's tied up at the end of it. So yeah, I do love bondage wrestling. I love how rough it is. It is, again, super rack. And it's also one of those things where you have
risk-aware kink consensual.
Yes, risk-aware consensual kink. I have been in bondage wrestling matches where we used metal handcuffs and like my wrists were swollen and stuff. Like I have been the stubborn person where the person's pulling my arm back and they are 15 times stronger than I am, and I'm still trying to like not let them get me. And again, you have to make the decision, like, I came here with 2 arms, how many do I want to leave with? And do I want to leave this one on the mat so she can bronze it and put it on her mantle as a trophy? Like, no, I want this to come home with me. So there are certain like decisions that you have to make, especially when you're stubborn, especially when you are a masochist. But yeah, bondage wrestling is a lot of fun. It can be as rough or as playful as you want it to be.
Platforms, everything's changing. Everything's changing. The only constant in life is change. Platforms change all the time. Where can people, we'll do the plugs at the end of the show. We're almost done. But platforms, like what platforms are you using? Are you interacting with kinky people these days the most?
I have recently, I think beginning of this year, I had some major platform burnout because it's so hard to be everywhere. And it's like, I can talk about this on this platform. I can talk about this on that one, but not that one. I mean, I'm on Loyal Fans, I'm on Sex Panther, Clips for Sale, Many Vids, all of those things. But I've been really enjoying FetLife. I have been enjoying FetLife.
Again, yeah. I zoned out by it, and then like now it's like that's where we got. And that's why I want this show to kind of be. It's like a place where you could we need all the places we can get.
Yes.
People. You know what I mean? Every platform we have, because they're being taken away. When I say taken away, I just mean like, the magic of it is being taken away. I'm not impressed anymore with a lot of them. You know what I mean? They become a tool, not something that's inspiring, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. And I really like on FetLife because we can share like, oh, I had a play date and this is what I did, and you can't do that on other platforms.
And even here on this show, as a kinky person, I respect the fact I don't bring up FetLife stuff on there. I like on my show. I'm not going to bring up profiles and stuff like that because that's part of the agreement of FetLife. And plus, I'm not going to out someone or dox someone, or, in the kink community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it. Rapid fire recommendations. We've been through this before. They don't have to be kink related, but they often are. They don't have to be the be all end all of who you are. Just something. I think you like this. Like, recommend a film.
Recommend a film. Oh, I'm gonna say Sinners because listen, I know that I saw the poster or whatever, but I must not have paid attention, and nobody prepared me for two Michael B. Jordans. Like nobody prepped me for that. So that was a really fun movie.
Yeah, solid movie, excellent production value, and I was into the movie before it went even really into like the zombie type thing. I was more actually into that. I was like, oh, they have to take it there, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really good. I did like that. I did like the storyline.
The effects were like gnarly too, so it's like it wasn't this over AI, over CGI type stuff either. It was like, I mean, it was, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a good movie. Okay, recommend a book.
White Women: Everything You Already Know About Your Own Racism and How to Do Better.
Do you know the name for that?
What's that?
Do you know the name of the author for that book?
One is Regina Jackson, and the other one is, her first name begins with an S, and her last name is Rao. Saira. They have an organization. You can tell I'm a visual thinker. They have an organization called Race to Dinner, and they're two women of color who go into living rooms and dining rooms and do presentations on anti-racism for dinner parties, essentially. And this is the book that they wrote, and it really is excellent. It talks about like privilege and entitlement, and the one that really stuck with me was niceness versus kindness. A lot of us avoid conflict because we were taught to be nice and not rock the boat.
That's not kind. Yeah, not kind.
That's not kind. Nice is not kind. Kind is, I want you in my orbit. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk like people. That's kindness. So that chapter really stuck with me. I really do love that book.
That just cements like the saying at the end of my show is be cool, be kind, keep an open mind.
Yeah.
All right, recommend a meal.
Oh, a friend and I, actually Lord Erebus and I, we were planning our Fist of Fury party. And we went to this place called Pies and Thighs. I love a punny name. And I also love a spicy fried chicken sandwich. And I think the donut was like a pecan bourbon donut at the end. Like, yes, I want more of that. One of my favorite meals I've ever had was, I'd say would be like my last meal on earth would be Dame's Chicken and Waffles, because they have a sweet potato waffle. But Pies and Thighs, I can get that in, I forget what neighborhood it's in, somewhere. It's a train ride away from me. So yeah.
We did this before, but this is a different episode. This is a special episode. Katarina, the Domme Kat Pure. Let's say you had endless resources. Right? You can go anywhere in the world. You do anything you want. But this is a feminization and wrestling fantasy. So what would be your ultimate feminization and wrestling fantasy?
Ultimate feminization and wrestling fantasy. To go anywhere in the world? I mean, if I could go anywhere in the world, I haven't been to Italy yet. And I would love to go to Sicily and see where my family's from. But the feminization, I mean, a friend of mine wants to do like a white girl wasted day and like have us feminize him and then go out. That I think would be really fun. Like having a day where you can just like hire makeup and hair, because like I can do your hair and makeup, sure. But if you want to look like hot, like you need the professionals. So like hiring a professional team to do feminization, getting like a limo, like you're I don't know, privileged 16-year-old or however old you are when you go to prom, like getting like the whole going out VIP velvet ropes like going to the club that night, getting the bottles, like that would be the ultimate feminization. Fun for me, seeing this person like getting glammed up and then going out and living in that role in the real world, being able to have that fun and role play for the night. That would be that to me. That I think that would be a really ultimate feminization fantasy.
Sounds cool. All right, word association game.
Yes.
You know this. You've done this before. And
yes.
Please stand if you're you got a bunch of people watching. I know this is a good turnout. Please start putting things in the chat. I'll put them up on screen. So I'm going to say a word or a phrase. You say the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
If I say chastity, you could say lock. But if I say chastity and you're thinking of chicken and waffles, you could say chicken and waffles.
I'm often thinking of chicken and waffles. Let's be real.
Don't blame you. And then there's the jar. Tango Blue, I love you. And shout out to Mistress Natasha, who inspired me to get this jar out again.
Love it.
I don't know what's in this jar. There's a bunch of pieces of paper. Okay. Oh, I think, do we have any new things? Yes, we got some. Okay, good. Keep them coming, Stan, because I didn't write anything in the chat. So. All right. We're in this together, right? Off the top of the head. Improv. Okay. First thing that comes to your head. Oh, and the other rule is we don't kink shame.
Nope.
Not that I like your style, so but just say not my thing if I say something that really just triggers you.
Got you.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. French maid outfits.
Ooh, PVC.
Smothering.
Yum.
Feet
or ass.
Face.
What was that?
Feet in their face.
Feet in their face. Toenail polish.
Garter belts.
Difficult to put on.
Chastity devices.
Key holding. Love key holding.
Okay, we got them. Teacher's pet.
Teacher's pet. Oh, that's precious. I'm kneeling.
Medical play.
Needles, which is not something. It's something I've learned, but it's not something that I've been doing. Although Charlotte Taylor, Queen Charlotte, now I'm thinking about her in that hot latex nurse's outfit. She looked fucking great in it.
Ball gags.
Drool.
Sensory deprivation.
I want to say blindfolds. It's just a very basic bitch answer.
Vacuum beds.
Ooh. I'm thinking shiny. Shiny.
Puppy play.
Kisses.
Latex.
Sweat.
Sunshine says sensual play.
Fingernails.
Nun 67 says ruined orgasms.
Laughter, because that's hilarious. Unless it's mine. And then it's rage.
Oh my God. I could do a whole episode on that. Just the rage of a woman's ruined orgasm. Holy shit. Empires fall because of that, All right. Narcissistic Miss says smothering.
Turn on.
Alien abduction.
Oh, that's good. I'm thinking rope.
Rope. Okay. All right.
I don't know why I'm thinking rope for alien abduction. I'm thinking of, I think the up to the spaceship is what I'm thinking of. And if I were doing that scene, I think that's where my brain went, is that I would like alien abduct them in bondage or in suspension.
Nice. All right. You see? Your creativity is endless. Here's a comment that was done way early in the show and has nothing to do with word association, and I'm just going to throw it in there anyway.
Do it.
Anna Tisnor says a box of chocolates.
Box of chocolate. Where did this even come from? If it was earlier in the show,
I don't know.
box of chocolates. I'm gonna think popping cherries
Okay.
because
All
chocolate
right.
covered cherries.
All right. What advice would you give to yourself that you wish you'd learned sooner?
Protect your energy. Protect your energy, and protect your peace. You're not going to make everyone happy. You can try, but you can't be everything to everyone. And you have to. It's still something I'm learning. I mean, I wish younger me knew how to say no a little bit easier to people. And this is still what I'm still working on. But it's okay to say no. You're not going to disappoint people. You're going to keep your own cup full so that you can continue to pour into others.
Well said. Very well said. And thank you for saying that. So, okay, we got to wrap things up. We're all looking for something. Where do you want your kinky past to take you next?
I would love my kinky path to take me. I am a solo kitty cat. I am, I'm used to like moving on my own. I'm used to doing things on my own. But I'm looking forward to more collaborations. I want more collaborations, more partnerships, more community ties. Like Charlotte Taylor from the Taylor Group, like she is my heart. I love her so much. I have made so many friends, like going to parties, and people who come to my events are, I'm collaborating with them, community members who aren't professionals, because they're just good people. And I want more collaboration and cooperation. I am 100% not a competitive person. Competitive in wrestling, but community. I really value collaboration. That's where I want it to take me.
You're going down in the ring. But that's the beauty. Seriously, that's the beauty of the kink community, is the collaboration.
Yes.
And like I said, the show is called Your Kinky Friends, not Your Kinky Nick. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for being a part of the kink community. We have one little thing left. So please complete this sentence. Life is
fucking short. Fucking short. It goes by so fast. You gotta make use of it. We always think we're gonna have tomorrow, and we don't. We might not together.
We are not promised tomorrow. But you gotta let your light shine today. You have to. Thank you very much for letting your light shine on us.
Thank you for having me. I love coming on this show. I love talking to you. I love how community minded you are. I always have a really good time, especially with these games. You always stump me, and then I'll be laying in bed like 5 a.m. trying to get to sleep, and all of a sudden be like, oh, that.
I did that too with at like 3 a.m. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I want to play this dumb game on my show.
I'm into it. I mean, I've emailed you 2 days after the show being like, oh, this is the thing. Yeah. So yeah, I do. I love the games. I love the games.
So we have some interesting shows that we just did. Yesterday, went to Madam Sadist, also known as Lady Masochist. She's in Jersey. Wow, the toys that she has to destroy cocks. I'm still unpacking it. It's just in my head. That's going to be on Spotify soon.
Wild.
Aiden Charming with the Fire Play. He did an amazing show. Director Jez did an amazing show with Wax Play. The Commandant, our friend the Commandant, was just on YKF Weekends talking about
grief. That was a really nice one. Yeah.
Yes, an amazing show. These are amazing people that we have in this community, and so please, everybody, read a book. Read a book. It's great. You know what? Go into another world. What do you think you know, you need imagination in this life. So let's use it. Yeah. The coolest way to kill yourself. Wait, where's mine? Sorry. The coolest way to kill yourself. Filled with sex and drugs and an endless amount of music references. It's also a document of the kink scene and the New York City rave scene.
Love it.
And there's your kinky friends. If you're dealing with a heartache, take your broken heart, make it into art. That's what Carrie Fisher said. You're going to deny Princess Leia? So, like, right? That's what that's all about. It's about, dealing with the pain of loss, dealing with death, and the kink community can help you out and take your broken heart, make it into art. Oh, the Domme Kat. Who knows? Maybe we'll see each other in Brooklyn. Maybe this is the start of a whole new era in YKF.
Love it.
So I got a lot of plans in this whimsical mind of mine. So everybody, it's going to be a great week. It's going to be a great weekend. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Keep it open. Take care.